Our topic for today is God, our shelter in a time of storm. Our theme text is coming from Psalm 46, verses 1, 2, and 3. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we won't be afraid, though the earth changes, though the mountains are shaken into the heart of the seas, though its waters roar and are troubled, though the mountains tremble with their swelling. These words speak of great comfort to a Christian, to those who believe in God. That God is our strength, our refuge in a very present help, meaning a very immediate, very close. It's not something that we have to wait for. He's not a help that is far away from us, but He is close to us, a very present help. If we go to Mark chapter 4, we see the story of Jesus and His disciples through the storm. It says here that one day, when evening came, Jesus and disciples decided to cross over the Sea of Galilee. And when they had sent the multitudes away, they took Him even as He was in the ship. And they went, and as they were crossing the Sea of Galilee, you had a great storm that arose. Waves beat into the ship, and it was a time of fearfulness. The disciples were sure that they were going to die because the storm was so severe. They tried everything that they could, but they could not hold the ship steady, the boat steady. And you have this account where Mark tells that Jesus was in the backside of the ship, the hinter part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. The disciples, in their frantic fear, come to Him and wake Him up and say, "Master, carest not thou that we perish?" Immediately Jesus rose up and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." Peace, be still. And immediately the wind ceased, there was a great calm. And then Jesus looks at the disciples and He tells them, "Why are you so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? Where is your faith?" And disciples, they feared exceedingly and said to one another, "What manner of man is this, that even the wind and sea obey Him?" Here is Jesus, the master of the wind and the waves. Jesus, the Creator Himself. John says that everything that God created was created through Him. The Word who was God. He Himself was in the boat. And disciples were so fearful of the storm that was all around them that they forgot that the Master of creation was in their boat with them. We lose faith when we have an ample hope right next to us. If we go to Psalm chapter 107, verse 29, it says of God, "He maketh the storm a calm, so that the waves thereof are still." God is able to make a calm out of a storm and still the waves. So why doesn't He stop a storm that comes, some literal storms that come to people. Today we are having a storm in the west of India, east of India, and everyone is panicked. Everyone is trying to do their best to avoid. Why doesn't God stop if He is so powerful? If we go to Matthew chapter 21, it talks of things that will happen. Matthew chapter 24, things that will happen just before Jesus comes. And Jesus does not give a calm picture. Jesus talks of everything that is going wrong. He says that in those times there will be a time of great tribulation, such as never was since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Just before Jesus comes, everything goes wrong. In verse 37, Jesus also mentions about Noah. But as in the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. And Jesus talks of just how people were eating, drinking, marrying, getting marriage, living a godless life. So shall it be when just before Jesus comes. Till the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Just before Jesus comes, you have a storm. Not just a storm of wind, of literal rain, of literal wind, but a storm of cataclysmic events happening one after the other. Things that take the world by surprise. This wonderful quote from Review and Herald, January 11, 1887. It says, "Already the restraining spirit of God is being withdrawn from the earth. Hurricanes, storms, tempests, fire and flood, disasters by sea and land follow each other in quick succession. Science seeks to explain all this. The signs thicken around us, telling us of the near approach of the Son of God, are attributed to any other than the true cause. Men cannot discern the sentinel angels restraining the four winds, that they may not blow until the servants of God are sealed. But when God shall bid his angels loose the winds, there will be such a scene of his avenging wrath as no pen can picture." What this verse tells that such events are going to happen more and more frequent, and following each other in quick succession. Everyone is telling that it has nothing to do with the second coming. But if we see in the Bible, through the eye of faith, we can see that God is keeping back the winds, the four winds, through his angels, sentinel angels, holding back these winds of strife so that God's people can be sealed. God's people can have a time where they can prepare their character and be ready for his, that Jesus would have a people ready when he comes. These things are only going to increase. But just as the story in Mark 4, God's people may be in a world of flood. Those who trust in God may be in a world where things are going wrong. But Jesus has said, "Peace I give to you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." Those who trust in God, those who know that Jesus is in their boats, need not fear, because God is the master of the storm, master of all that might happen, God is in control. Psalm 46, verse 3. Verse 1. God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. No matter what happens, all the terrible things that might happen, God is still our refuge and our strength, a place where we can go and find security and peace, knowing that God is in control and will take care of us, and He will see us through any storm that we might be in. God bless us all.